Hey everyone, welcome to Lady Overlander Radio. Tonight we're speaking with Jason and Kate of Experiencing Arkansas. Stay tuned. Grab your favorite drink, whether it's a coffee, cocktail, or tea, and get ready. It's Ladies' Night on Lady Overlander Radio. The Lady Overlander Radio podcast is sponsored by CB Adventure Supply, Midland Radio, Go Treads, Marlar Equipment Repair, Overland Spices, The Moore Expo, Wildland Coffee, Adventure Trail Outfitters, Lifesaver Water Filters, Sea Sucker Camp, and Sport Keg. Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. What's happening?
Not much. Up in North Carolina right now, we're getting some stuff installed on the rigs. They worked on Joe's today, and tomorrow they're going to be working on mine.
Do tell. What did you get?
So Joe got a new Alucab tent,
Nice.
Alucab shower annex, and a new fridge.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know how his old fridge was like just a freezer because the thermostat thing was messed up?
What kind of fridge did we go with?
Fridge. What's that?
What kind of fridge?
An ARB again.
ARB? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it lasted a long time.
Well, what else did the spoiled man get?
What else did the spoiled man get? Let me think.
Some sort of storage?
Oh, and he's getting a dual air compressor installed tomorrow. ARB.
And Rome boxes on top.
And Rome boxes on top. Yep.
I saw the photo.
Mm-hmm. It's
bougie.
Yeah.
Feral Joe is going bougie.
Feral Joe is not as feral as he used to be.
No, he's bougie. He's uptown high rent.
Feral.
Yeah. And we got front runner water tanks installed on the floorboard, back seat floorboards on both vehicles. That was a couple of weeks ago that we did that. So we can each carry 10 gallons of water on the floorboard.
Sheesh.
I know. I put little spray hose and everything.
What's Mama getting? Mama getting anything?
Yes. Tomorrow I'm getting the new 180 degree Alucab awning. They made it for the forerunners because you know how the hatch comes up so high. You can't really put a 270 around.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that, and then I'm getting my old shower tent that was on Joe's rig put back on my rig, so I'll get it back. And then I'm gifting you the other one, the OVF one.
And Tony's stealing it immediately.
I know. I'm surprised he's not breaking into my house out there and taking it
I know.
out.
I told him about it, which I shouldn't because it was stupid. And he's like, "Oh, I already know where I'm going to put that."
Oh, old man, old truck. Hello.
Really?
Feral Joe is on. Yeah. Then they're all saying hi to each other. Hello,
everybody. That cute? Boys, bros. Hey, happy International Women's Day, ladies.
Yes.
How about you, queen? How about you?
Awesome. A little story on our Instagram highlighting a whole bunch of Lady Overlanders and
all that.
Roaders. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Well, the only thing I got new was today I got new tail lights because my other ones died, and that's the only reason. But my husband did install them because I'm sick of the little code on my screen. It's driving me crazy and dinging for the last week and a half. So I got new tail lights. Woo!
Very nice. Now we'll know when you're stopping suddenly.
Well, you'll know when I'm turning because the turn signals were what died, but they're LED.
Oh, okay.
Replace the whole thing. You can't just replace the bulb.
Dude.
Yeah.
That way they get more money.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. I followed Arlen once. I'm just hoping they're brighter because that way I can see them as they disappear.
Yeah.
She's usually gone 100 miles an hour.
And like I said, also when you're behind her and she stops suddenly, it's a little more of a warning, I think. I hope.
Yeah.
She drives
a little paying attention. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Must not know about her.
You must not know about me. I do drive fast. I'm in a hurry all the time.
Hey, Amy.
Oh, girl.
Sometimes Mrs. Brakes. Sometimes.
Sometimes I just go around the corner on two wheels and forget about the brakes. Jeeps do corner well, people. They really do.
Yeah, they corner better than my 4Runner does. That's for sure.
Well, you got a bunch of stuff on yours. I don't even have the tent on mine. It's on the trailer, so I'm not top heavy or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now the rest of y'all that got all that on there, oof, probably not gonna drive like that, but you know. Amy Hootie, Jason and Kate.
Hey, Anna.
Welcome on the show. First time on the podcast.
Thank you for letting us join you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to have y'all. What's going on? What's going on behind you there? I see some glow. What's going on there?
Oh, this is a friend of mine had made this sign for me. It's CNC cut, laser cut sheet metal. And then we had a science experiment in the garage, and I rusted the sheet metal, made a homemade concoction. Was it peroxide and vinegar and some other stuff? And rusted it. And then I got LED lights behind it.
Are they okay?
Yeah,
I keep them raw lights to keep them shut up.
I think our gag reflex got the best of us, maybe.
I think you might need to give him some assistance.
Kate, you got
backfired on me.
Tony.
Looky there. There's the shower stealer. Shower thief. Shower thief online. So let's get this thing started. Why don't you tell us a little background about yourselves?
Where do you want us to start?
You can tell us whatever you would like. Individually, together, whatever.
We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary here in July.
Yay!
So I actually got her introduced into, because we started dating in January last year, and got her introduced pretty quick into my camping lifestyle that I had started with friends. And I guess I'd started this a couple of years ago. I bought a Jeep and went on a camping trip with some friends of mine. We kind of had a guys trip, and we had such a blast that one of them now actually, he has that's it. After this trip, he went out and bought a Gladiator, and he's been building it since then. So that's kind of how it started for me. And I started doing it for fun a little bit more often. And then Kate and I got involved and started going on group rides with some friends of ours over at Adventure Recon. And we got out, and he's like, you know what, we really enjoy this. And it was one of the things that when her and I met, some of the things that I would see as it would pop up on her Facebook feed, I was like, check the box, check. You gotta be kidding. Check.
What got him was Monty Python jokes.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way that's Monty Python jokes. So yeah, nice. we I guess, was it February?
For what?
February or March? I think it was February or March. So we went on it was February. Yeah, we went on a snow wheeling trip with a friend of ours, and with Jay, he went with us, and we actually got some really, really great snow pictures down in the Ozark National Forest,
and I got to see him be all macho and try and pull Jay back up the mountain when he slid down.
Oh yeah, that was a scary moment.
And that was show off a little bit, and that was.
I think the thing she told me, she was impressed because I knew where everything was in the Jeep, and I knew exactly what to do. I wasn't panicked. I was just, like taking, I was like, that's why you go prepared, where everything's at, everything else. But so I guess it was in March, I took her on one of her first camping trips and knew that, okay, she's into this every bit as much as I am. And I think after that trip in March where we went camping, it just kind of ballooned and grew from there. And I swear we can't get out often enough. And so we got a new tent, just upgraded to the 23-0. We had a deal. We were working and was waiting on a tent, but it was back ordered. And long story short, I think after about 4 months, we were tired of waiting. So we've
all been there.
Yeah. We made the round trip up to Springfield and then all the way back out over to Tulsa
in one day,
in one trip, and said, hey, we're on our way, and picked up a new tent. And we're like, great, we got a new tent, we can go camping. And they start looking through the calendar. Geez, it's got to be another month. So we're still trying to get our first trip. Actually, our first trip's coming up next weekend. We're going with trail exploration and doing the high water trail. So we're going to.
Oh, are you?
Nice.
That'd be fun.
about it.
Back to us, what he didn't tell you though is he got me so into I did not in any way realize that Arkansas had so many waterfalls.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it had mountains, beautiful trees, beautiful colors in the fall. I had no idea there were hundreds and hundreds of waterfalls. He showed me a whole bunch, and we actually wound up getting married under the waterfalls. What is it? Over by Camp War.
Twin Falls.
Twin Falls.
Oh, nice.
Twin Falls, Triple Falls, whichever you want to call it.
Yeah. So it wound up being, 6-7 months of dating that led to finding the perfect spot. It was cute. Yeah. It was really cute.
So you guys were camping and scoping out wedding venues at the same time.
Yeah.
Multitaskers.
As long as it's free.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Free's
Sounds pretty romantic.
You got to save your money for all this overlanding stuff that we do. I mean,
that's the truth.
Yeah.
Can't be spending money on a wedding venue.
No.
And honestly, we didn't want a lot of people there. We just wanted to keep it extremely low key. It was just us and two kids, the dog, and then had my buddy Greg perform the ceremony for us, and it was a beautiful wedding. It was well done, and we managed to get done, wrapped up, and out of there before the heat hit because it was in July.
The end of July.
It turned out to be perfect weather.
Yeah.
July. Oof.
Yeah.
This past summer was miserable in Arkansas.
Gross. Hot.
Yeah.
Misty got a good taste of that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
I don't know what you're talking
Please don't let it be that way this year. Oh,
so I moved up to the mountains.
Yes.
Oh, I don't even. I just can't with the heat, honestly. But you guys basically answered the next question, which was, what got you started in overlanding. It kind of hit several points there, unless you had anything to add.
I didn't know this was I didn't know this was a thing. I know people went camping and I know people went jeeping, but I didn't realize there was a rooftop tent until I met him. And now I'm like diving head on into this world of all kinds of cool little gadgets and gadgets and this and that. I'm like, I need another job.
Yes.
I think it was about 2 years ago, year or 2 years. I guess it was 2 years ago. I went on a kind of a solo camping trip by myself. I guess this was back before my guys trip. And it was right at the time Rendezvous in the Ozarks was occurring. And I was passing by and I stopped and I was like, well, I haven't paid to come in. So I just kind of stopped to see what it was about. I was like, this looks like this would be fun to attend. So the following year, I actually went and attended. Some friends of mine went, and I saw all of the booths and the expo that was there, and I was like, this is
so it was just by chance that you drove by.
But no, I knew it was going to be there.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be there, so I wanted to stop by and check it out. And so then the following year, I was like, oh yeah, I'm all in, and we were able to participate as some of the trail leaders or trail guides on the not the moderate but the mild trails, and we had a lot of fun doing that, and had a lot of compliments from people saying that they liked my corny dad jokes. And we tried to keep it lively. It was funny because Greg and I had done it the year before, and we were just trying to get people engaged. Like, hey, where are you from? It's just crickets. Okay, nobody wants to talk. So we wanted to just, that's what we do when we're with our friends. We talk while we're trail riding. That's part of the experience of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So whenever you started out, did you start out with a ground tent and then just upgrade from there like some of us did?
Yes, I started out with a 1996 limited edition Ozark Trail Wally World Special.
Whoa.
Hello.
Limited edition.
Because I'd had it for 20 plus years, and it finally got discarded this summer.
Yeah, it kind of dissolved this summer.
Oh.
I'm surprised it lasted that long, to be honest. They were built better back then than they are now, I think. So
I had camped off the Big Piney and had my dog with me, and we woke up in the middle of the night, and he's a shepherd, so he's a very good guard dog. But I remember seeing him staring at the flap of the tent and then looking back at me like, bro, something big is out there.
go check that out.
Yeah, he wouldn't bark, but he knew something's out there and we could hear it. And because it was messing with our neighbor's stuff that we camped next to. And so the next morning I got up and was looking around trying to find it out. But I was like, okay, you know what? Being up on off the ground has its perks, but I've hammock camped. But every time I hear a twig snap, I'm like, what was that?
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do
So-
the hammock. No.
That
Oh,
and
it's comfortable.
my back,
Your back.
something about being taco shelled into a hammock doesn't. I feel, it doesn't feel very comfortable, and I can't get much sleep. So at least in the tent, I seems like I sleep better.
Yeah.
We have a question from the audience here.
All right.
What is one piece of gear you really thought you needed, but later found out you didn't?
Ooh, that's a good one. If I had to think, what's one good piece of gear I thought I needed that I don't? I've got all kinds of gear I don't use. And we're steadily
Don't we
paring
all?
down.
Get in our garage.
I don't want to say a winch because that's a
No,
key
that's
essential.
needed. We use
Needed.
that.
You don't need that.
Don't jinx us
In
with that.
Arkansas.
Hey, knocking on some wood. That's not good.
Honestly, I can't think of. Probably, I mean, everybody's got gear that they don't use, and you're always upgrading your gear.
Yes.
Unfortunately, each time we go, it's a different piece of gear that we don't use,
Yes.
depending on the situation. So it's like,
Yep. I was trying to think, like, well, that's not really a piece of gear that I didn't need, but I did have the cheap lanterns that you can get at Walmart. They came out with fluorescent, now they're LED, but it's a big freaking lantern. And we actually have one lantern, one of our Phoenix lanterns we have is set up on a tripod. So
it's better lighting.
And, but the thing that we're doing is downsizing and getting better quality equipment.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
something that we,
I can tell you something I wish I didn't have to bring is that Coleman stove and the black. I grew up doing reenactment camping, Civil War reenactment and Mountain Man reenactment.
Cool.
So I do real fire and cast iron, and it drives me nuts using this little propane thing, and I'm just getting used to it. But I wish I didn't have to have that. The smell of the fire on food is so much better.
I'd say
Yeah.
probably the black stone. If I had to pull it down, that's somebody's home. The guard dogs are loose.
At least they're not joking. That's
Yes.
We're past
The
that.
Blackstone is a handy tool for cooking because you can cook larger amounts and it's griddle. You can do a lot of stuff with it, but it's just so bulky. And we did get a Camp Chef stove. We actually found one brand new in a box for $50.
Resale shop, I think. We were
at
resale
the,
shopping.
Yeah, it was,
yeah. You guys got a good deal on that thing.
Yeah, it was brand new in the box. And I knew what it was. I was like, is this really,
Somebody messing with me. Yeah.
So I was like, is it really $50? So I said, is it broke? And I took it out of the box and I'm like, I don't care if it's broke for $50. I'm taking this home.
Figure out how to fix that thing.
So we're anxious to get ready, get started using that too.
That's awesome. Why don't you walk us through your overland build? What you've done with your Jeep since you bought it.
So, let's see what I do.
What do you got?
Started off. It's a 2020 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and I actually went with 35-inch tires before I had the lift because I was waiting on the lift to come in. So I actually went. So they were shoved into the fender wells for a while. But then I put on a 2.5-inch rock crawler X Factor lift kit and thought, because everybody was like, you don't want to go 3.5, just 2.5 if you're going to run 35s. So I did that for a while. But then what I noticed is even because I actually bought 3.5-inch springs for the rear, knowing that I was going to load up the back and knowing that it was going to squat. And I just never did like the lift ever. It just always seemed like it just wasn't really lifted. Couldn't really tell that much of a difference. So I actually upgraded just this past summer to a 3.5-inch lift kit. All I did was change out the springs, and I verified that. Yeah, and Tony was a great dude. Came up and helped me get the front axle swapped out. And
he did it for pizza, which is even better.
He's
I do almost anything for pizza. It is my favorite.
Almost.
Good to know. So we went with a 3.5-inch in the front and 4.5-inch in the back because we've got with the rock crawler control arms, they're adjustable, so we were able to make the adjustments needed. So now it's basically a 3.5-inch lift kit, and then went with I think shortly after I bought the Jeep, I knew I was going to have a winch and a bumper. And that particular model already had the factory steel bumper on it. It's like, great, I don't have to buy a bumper. I just put the winch on. And then when I saw that I had to buy a winch plate, which is almost the same cost as a bumper, I'm like, see you, factory bumper.
Yeah.
So yeah, upgraded to I think it's the Fab Force bumper, which is the only Fab Force product ever produced that I like. And so, because I don't do the grumper bumper. So we got that, and then upgraded the rear bumper, and I kept it that way for a while. And then when I did the rooftop tent last fall, I believe it was, I got the Rhino rack and the backbone system, and I went with the Global Road Outdoors tent, used that up until recently. And now we've got the new 23-0 Kabari, which we're really excited about. It's going to take us, honestly, it's going to take us a bit to get used to, because the Global Road tent was huge compared to this one. So this is our downside, you know.
It feels like we're losing almost a foot.
Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it's so much easier to open and close. It is so much easier. And for some reason, so we have friends that have the same tent, just the smaller model. Mm-hmm. Theirs just closes down super easy. Ours, we were constantly fighting it. Don't know why.
I just find as I'm getting older, I want it to be more simple.
Yes.
Quicker. You know, I don't want to spend time like an hour or two. You know, I don't want to spend an extensive amount of time setting up camp and doing all that. I want to pop the tent and pop it up. Like,
that's what we noticed.
I mean,
especially going in group rides, we were always the person that everybody was waiting on, and it made me feel bad. And I didn't want to be that guy. So we always wanted to be able to close up fast.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We'll work for beer and pizza. He's upgraded now. It's beer.
Okay.
Hey,
it's inflation.
Growing his horizons.
He'll work for beer and pizza, and Joe says he uses his camp chef extensively. He does.
Yeah.
He hasn't cooked me nothing. I don't believe him.
Oh, I'll show you.
Well.
And Tony wants to know your favorite camp meal.
Yes. Let's talk about that. I have my favorites that Kate cooks for sure.
I would say when we went camping with Tony and Joy, she surprised me with the French toast. And oh my gosh,
it's vanilla French toast, and then it's got strawberries and blueberries in fruit syrup with powdered sugar.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Honey, the picture looks like it should be on Better Homes and Gardens.
I thought that was his camera. I'm like, oh, it looks like a cookbook.
Pictures of it, and I'm like, what the crap is that?
And why do I not have it?
I'll make it.
It was the Texas toast, and it was good.
And then Philly cheesesteaks.
She made the best Philly cheesesteak I've ever had on the Blackstone. It was very good.
Tony says burgers.
Tony said smash boogers, and then he said burgers.
He did say smash boogers.
Ew, that's nasty.
You're so funny, Tony. His smash burgers are good.
Darn, autocorrect.
Really smash burgers are lovely. Those are lovely. So Philly cheesesteaks and French toast. I'm getting hungry.
We had fajitas, omelets, Oh, and your breakfast burritos.
I was trying to impress him the very first time he took me on a trip. He's like, I'm going to be there at 6. And he showed up with coffee for me. And I'm like, that's so sweet. And I made a breakfast burrito with it was jalapeno cheese tortillas and eggs, deer sausage, bacon, pepper jack cheese. Legit. And he wouldn't talk to me for the first hour because he's just like,
I almost had to pull over.
Yum.
Oh no.
Best burrito I've ever had.
I don't like what he's saying right there because it wasn't broken when I came in here. That means that he's dropped it. Did you break your screen, sir? Were you not just asking McKenna about that?
Poop, Tony.
Poop, Tony. I'll tell you where to get it fixed at. Son of a biscuit. Yeah, the new S22s, the screen will break right now with the case on. It does not matter.
Wow.
If you drop it and it hits just right, it's done.
He did. He broke it.
Never broke a screen until this phone. And now we've all had a little mishap. So there you go. Since November.
Oh, wow.
AT&T's not going to like us very much. Whatever.
They're going to drop your insurance.
They already dropped McKenna's.
Oops.
Baby, please be very careful with your phone because it has to come out of pocket now. Okay, pumpkin? Okay.
Yeah.
Rolling up into kids.
Yeah.
What parts of overlanding do your kids like most?
Food.
And what are they not crazy about? You might be able to answer that first.
We have one of each. His daughter does not like it. She doesn't like getting out. She doesn't like getting dirty. She doesn't like getting sweaty. She likes to just stay home and read. My son is a Boy Scout, and he wants to go with us everywhere we go. And we're just like, we kind of want to be alone.
So he's obviously older. So you could probably.
My son's 17. Yeah.
17?
Yeah.
Man.
I know.
He's almost a man child.
I'll need a camp trailer for sure if I have to take him because he has not learned the value of being, conservative on what you take.
No.
Well, neither have we. A little bit.
You guys do bring a lot, but we're all thankful for it because then we don't have to bring it all.
Well, I'll tell you who's got everything but the kitchen sink, and he probably does have the kitchen sink with him, is Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Just thinking the same thing.
I was trying to
if you forget your scuttle legs, he's got a backup pair in his rig. Ask me how I know. Tony forgot his scuttle legs. Joey saved him. He had a backup pair. Like, what?
Wow.
Backup pair of
I can never find a little eye screws. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't even understand. So I get what you're saying about that. So it depends on the day that our kid likes to camp or doesn't. I mean, she likes to do all the things. She likes to fish and she loves to play in the river and all those things.
It's convenient. They want to go. If it's hard work, they don't.
Right. But she's a teenager, so we're kind of in that whole, I would rather be socializing with, others than chill with y'all or, or I don't want to camp. Ew. And then next time it's like, why didn't I get to go? So that's what we deal with.
Joe says Tony's also the most organized.
He has reorganized his truck in the last week, probably 3 times that I can count off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, he's very organized.
Constantly redoing and redoing and redoing, trying to get the perfect fit.
Oh.
Question?
No, Joey is. Tony's organized too, but Joey's very organized as well.
Me.
All right, let's go back to Tony's question here. What's at the top of your list of places to go?
Probably, if I'd say, the top, probably Colorado. And then Kate's been telling me about Oregon.
I lived in Oregon for 2 years. That's where my son was born. And
really,
I keep wanting to take him back, take Jason with me. And it is a huge drive.
Yeah.
It's like 24 hours of driving to get there.
Especially with a kite strapped to the top of your Jeep.
Right.
Yeah, I've done it. But Oregon is beautiful. You got to get out there. Wyoming's beautiful. Idaho, Washington State.
I would love to make an extended road trip one day to where we're not necessarily on a vacation trip where you feel like, National Lampoons where you show up and the news says, sorry, folks, we're closed.
Right.
I want to be able to take my time and what's the term? Boondoggling. Yeah.
From here is a great place to take Lewis and Clark route all the way up.
Yes.
Yeah. I would love to take like a month and just go take my time and really enjoy the journey, the trip and all of it and not feel like you're necessarily rushed because you've got like a week to get there and back because that would be awesome. So probably an extended road trip there. And actually I was watching, and I think Kate was watching it with me too. The Cottywomble had showed some of their video that they did, or I think it was around North Carolina and some of the Eastern Tennessee and Kentucky area. And I was really intrigued by that because it looked a whole lot like the Ozark National Forest, except the hills and mountains are taller and some of the waterfalls were taller and some of the spans that you could see were miles, for absolute miles. And I was like, I've never been over there. It's something I'd like to explore on that side of the country as well. And it's different because it's not everybody wants to go to Colorado and Moab. And I was like, I want to do that too. But I want to see pretty scenery too.
There's so many other places to go that are just as beautiful.
So
And
now that you
Yep.
said that, would you say your bucket list trip would be
Probably the Oregon
I
trip.
like the idea
Yeah.
of the Lewis
Oregon?
and Clark Trail up
the
to.
trip of a lifetime for you? Is to go to Oregon?
I would say so. I mean, yeah, could we go to another continent and do something? Sure, but I was like, nah, I'd rather stay here.
there's a
We
ton
got
of
lots to
places to
do.
still see here.
You'll never see it all. I just
No.
don't think.
I'd love to take you to Romania.
Oh.
Ooh, meow!
I've been there twice, and
Wow.
it's
Yeah, she's a
those
world
mountains
traveler.
are. You just sit there and go, what? But I don't think you can jeep those.
Could try.
Good try. All right, Old Man Old Truck would like to know what's been your favorite trip you guys have done so far.
Hmm.
I'll let you answer.
Am
that. I'm
I-
talking too much.
Everyone seems new to me, so that's all still fresh. But my favorite was still the very first one he ever took me on. You would have to explain to them exactly which one that was, but it was because it was snow wheeling, and all the leaves were gone, so I could see the mountains, and I realized how high up we actually were, and everything had that beautiful powdered sugar dusting of snow.
And
It was so pretty.
It was the perfect snow wheeling day where everything was covered in snow except the trail.
But not so cold that you didn't want to get out of your car.
Yeah, and you didn't have to worry because sometimes in snow, if the snow covers the trail, you don't know if you're going to hit a rock or not. What are you driving on? So the ruts on the trails were wide open. And so most people watching probably know we went down the pig trail past Elkins, and there's that one little tiny section where the trees just kind of go over the road, and it's like a little tunnel. Oh, it was so gorgeous. Rode through there, and then let's see, we rode around, went to Art Cafe, took her over to Bub's cabin, and then we came back and we noticed that it was getting late in the day, and then all of a sudden the snow actually started sticking to the ruts and the trails. We're like, you know what, we should probably head back, and we did, and that was when we, my buddy, we saw a forerunner
just ever so slightly too
upside.
late, and the roads were all ice.
Yeah, it was getting rough. We saw a forerunner upside down in the ditch, and Kate, being first responder, we pulled off to the side, stopped, and I turned around and came back, and we were jumped out with flashlights, trying to see if anybody was in there. And my buddy Jay's like, "Uh-oh, I'm stuck," because when he panicked, pulled off the road because he was like us. We're trying to stop, make sure everybody's okay. But when he pulled off, the Jeep just started sliding, and it was off in the ditch, and we ended up getting him out.
Wow.
After some goofball tried to drive through my winch cable on the road because he was 18 and
he wanted to get home.
Yeah, he's just.
Who cares about the guy that's about to fall
anybody.
off the side of the mountain?
I had to stop winching, pull forward just so my line could drop so he could drive over it.
Wow.
He was just
We're trying to do a rescue here, people.
Right. It's like, get out and help.
I high beamed him. I turned
So, was there anybody in the forerunner? Were they injured?
Yeah,
or?
No, he had he was fine. He got out and he had found a ride, but he had left a flare by the side of the road. And so we went and we just made sure that there was nobody like off in the ditch. Like he didn't like start to walk and got stuck.
So
he was fine. But yeah.
Kind of back to what Kate was saying with the snow, it was there was this one little section of trail kind of north of Bub's that had pine trees, and I was joking with her. I said it looks like shredded wheat.
It did.
Frosted shredded wheat, because it's just there's so much snow cover on the trees, and then we managed to get to the top, and it was kind of foggy and hazy, and you could just see out for pretty good ways, and everything was topped with snow. And that was when I knew that okay, she's really not only someone special, she's extra special.
She's a badass.
I'm in over my head.
She's a badass.
Oh Lord.
That was my Valentine's present. On the inside, it says I'm a badass unicorn.
Yes.
I'm a badass unicorn.
Love it.
Well, yes. Little shout out. We got Chris Marler, one of our new sponsors, Marler Equipment. And then we got Anna Pinto from Go Treads, one of our sponsors on here too.
Sponsors, yep.
Hey guys.
Anna would like to know what's your favorite season to travel in? Probably winter, huh?
Yeah.
Winter, yeah,
Spring and fall?
Beautiful.
Spring and fall for sure, because you don't have to worry so much about when it's down in the 20s. But Fall is my favorite. I don't know about you.
I've always loved the colors of fall.
Yeah.
But there's something about spring, because when we met in the winter. And then as soon as those little daffodils and all the little tiny stuff started popping up against the white background, it was absolutely gorgeous. And every single time we'd go out, he'd stop and he'd pick one for me. And the dog, hi.
Crack it on the bone.
Oh, God. But he would. So we'll pair that with something really sweet. How's that? So I took those and I would, unbeknownst to him, I was putting those in a book, in a dictionary, and pressing all those. So and now I've got them all laminated, and I've got a date and where he got it of every flower he's.
Aw, you guys are so cute.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Joe and Tony, you guys gotta step up your game.
My God.
Sorry.
Lord have mercy, the newlywedness of all this. Do y'all like to do winter camping or
Yes.
no?
Oh, we
You
got
do?
Oh
it.
yeah, we like
Like
doing winter
winter
camping as well. Yes.
You got a diesel heater?
Yep.
Or you just snuggle because you're newlyweds?
A little bit of both.
Got a diesel
A
heater.
little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
What's your shirt say? Bacon something.
Oh, bacon helps.
Bacon helps.
Yes, it does.
It does. It really
It
does.
sure does.
Okay.
Tony, don't be making gross faces.
There you go.
He's like,
this
gag. I've been with
my gift for Valentine's Day.
Tony Crest take notes. Marlo, you take notes, bro.
Chris is a little bit of a sweetheart from what I've heard.
Yeah, he's a big old teddy bear.
Big old teddy bear.
Aww.
He's a big old teddy bear. What has been your absolute best moment while camping, you think?
Make it PG.
French toast.
I'm trying to think. All I can think
Back to
about is some of the more rough moments, but I'm trying to think of some of the best moments too.
Right.
Oh,
There's been so many.
Yeah. It's hard because there's each one he shows me something new, and so I sit there and I just kind of get real quiet and just kind of in awe. I would love to see all the waterfalls that we have here. I don't think there's time.
Yeah, there's a lot of hiking involved.
Since I know that Jason, you're really into photography and take some really great pictures. Do you ever follow Tim Ernst, or do you have any of his books, his waterfall book and all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Check that out, Kate.
I think, is that the one that you gave me to look at?
Yes.
Yeah, I post-it noted that sucker. I want to go here. I want to go here. I want to go here.
Amazing stuff. Tony's taken some of his classes. Man, amazing. Yeah, he does some classes and stuff.
Yeah, I hear Tony has just purchased a new,
Yes.
inexpensive camera too, so he better be up in his game.
He better get a second job. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see Tony?
Oh,
I'm going to yak.
Oh, hang on. If you want me to make you yak, I can do that.
Oh, Lord.
So let's see. We were started dating in January. March, the Valentine's
I'm scared.
Day
I don't
in
know where
March.
this is going.
She totally shocked me with my Valentine's Day gift last year. And everybody was like telling her, "Oh, don't get him that. He'll hate that."
Yeah. Everybody told me it was stupid.
That was the perfect gift. I'm a full-grown man. I will admit, she had me bawling.
Yeah, I got him a leather-bound
just
kind
so
of
touched.
journal. It's got
You tell.
handmade paper and stuff in it. And the idea was we're going to take this on every trip and we're going to write down kind of like a diary of where we went, what we did, if we saw something really cool for the rest of our lives. So it was a Valentine's present that lasts forever.
And it looked like something from
really
an Indiana
sweet.
Jones movie. It was like something you found in a cave, some ancient manuscript that was like hundreds of years old. And the way she's got beautiful handwriting. So when she writes in there, it looks like you're looking at something from like
A story.
pre-Civil War or something.
Aww.
And so I knew right then and there, it's like, okay, this person really wants to fully invest in me and share these adventures together with me. So it's like, yeah, there you go. If you're not yakking by now, you should be.
No.
I buy my husband pocket knives. You know what I mean?
Can't go wrong.
Or camping lights, right, Jason?
Yeah, there you go.
My problem is I can't get that because as soon as he sees it anywhere, he buys it before I ever even know it exists.
I am a good
And then
Yeah.
things will just show up at the front door. He's like, look what we got.
Step up your game, girl.
All right. We got another question here.
Ooh.
Any really scary moments while camping? Example,
by a
he was
moose.
chased by a moose who attacked the vehicle while in
Oh
Alaska.
my goodness.
Aren't those
That's
things
scary.
like really big?
Yes.
Oh, y'all should
big-
tell the
Ooh.
one story.
That would scare me. Can I tell?
Yeah.
Can I tell?
Go ahead.
Okay.
But
So-
keep it legal.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, I think you know the story. So I work for a local police department here. We had a bunch of us officers get together to go on a camping trip together, like a bonding moment. And there was 4 or 5 adults and 3 kids, and we're all camped out in this one big spot. Where were we?
Shameless plug.
Oh, stop it.
Middle of the night, we start hearing 2 side-by-sides with big old boom boxes in the back of, Just-
11:15.
just blaring. Like we
Oh,
could hear
boy.
them clear out there. Every light on God's green earth, including those stupid little whip antennas. Sorry, I know some of you people might like them. I don't.
I don't. We're good.
They come charging into camp. We have all of our Jeeps barricaded against the front. They just start screaming at us, bad foul language about we don't own the creek, the yada yada. Well, we don't have our uniforms on, but we are armed. And
Yeah.
wake up Jason. He's armed. So we got 5 armed people, one of which is a SWAT officer.
Oh,
So-
Lord.
We're just like, you need to leave and you need to leave now. And in the meantime, he doesn't even realize he's being flanked. And we're just like, and he puts it in. One guy sees that we're all armed. He can hear it. And he about breaks an axle trying to get out of there.
I heard gears grinding. He about stripped his transmission on his 4-wheeler.
Yeah. The other guy, who was obviously drunk, puts it in reverse and tries to run Jason over.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He
Mm.
was, yeah.
Shut over, my man.
Well, the thing is I was dead asleep.
Yeah.
I think I'd already hit REM.
Yeah. He was a little
I was
out of it.
out. And then I wake up and because I've heard stories before, I think Caleb Baker with Baker Overland, I think it was like a year or 2 ago, had shared a story on Natural State where he had people throwing rocks at his tent. He had his kids with him. And so of course, that was over more on the White Rock Mountain side. And I'd heard stuff. So in the back of my mind, I wake up, I hear music, I see lights coming in. I'm dead asleep, but in my mind, we're being invaded.
Startled.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
that was what I woke up to.
But
And so I opened the tent and slid down the ladder. And
it
came
was
out.
cool, actually, because he slid down the ladder like it was a slide. I'm like, how'd you do that?
Tell them what you're wearing, Jason. Go ahead.
Let's talk
I
about
was
that.
wearing shorts. I was wearing shorts.
Liar.
Liar.
It was
yeah.
shorts.
But it was cool because he slid down. He had his.
Boxers or
I was
shorts
up
or
in the
something.
trees, and we had another officer behind her engine block of her Jeep. We had another one flanking him on the side, and this guy's got the nerve to go,
Well,
I'm gonna call the police. We're like, go ahead.
We are the police.
You're about to find out.
I think I wasn't fully awake yet, but I knew
Boxer
when
shorts.
I saw him coming into camp, and he was going because we had 2 Jeeps kind of facing each other, but he could have drove through. I knew it was fixing to get ugly as soon as I saw that happen. That's why I came down and exposed that, hey, I am armed, and buddy, you need to stop. I wasn't intending on using it. I also had exposed myself, which I don't normally do because now I'm like,
You need to
blinded by
rephrase
lights.
that.
Yeah, listen.
you really need to
told us
rephrase
wear
that.
boxer shorts.
You're
Let's
in
not talk about
boxer
exposing
shorts,
yourself.
sir. Keep this PG. There might be
From a
kids watching.
defensive, strategical perspective, I was completely exposed. Clothing, I was concealed.
Feel.
But yeah, I
were
figured if
completely
he saw that I
exposed.
was armed, maybe they would change their tune. And that's when the one guy said a few choice words, and he about stripped his transmission when he left.
He bugged out.
And
Yeah.
the other guy had his girlfriend or his
The
wife or
girlfriend
something
and his
was like
dog,
beating
and
him
was-
on the shoulder, telling
Yeah.
him, just go. And he was like, he was not going to go. He was not.
He had a point to prove, and he was drunk. And
So by the time they leave, now I'm fully awake and fully mad.
Well, the thing is he's lucky he ran across trained people, because anybody without training and patience, he would have had holes in them. Because the way he came at us,
yeah,
the way he came at us
legally,
was not.
it was a threat.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was right at a very, very popular community hole that a lot of people camp at Piney Creek, right just past Hurricane Creek. So, or not Hurricane Creek, but the falls, their little camp spot there. Actually, you guys were there last year when you had your camping retreat. It's not too far from there.
Oh, okay.
So I was very shocked that happened in that location.
Yeah.
Really? That's crazy.
And then we went to go check on the kids, and they were all still asleep, even though we had been yelling at this guy, swear words and racking rounds and the whole bit for like what felt like 10 minutes, but it was probably a minute.
Yeah.
Go check on the kids,
totally
and they're like, what?
Wow.
Gosh.
Come on.
Anna would like to know, what other ways do you guys document your travels to share with the rest of the world?
Well, for fun, I kind of started, and I just a bit of a background. My son, he's 21. He's got a certificate or a degree in media, and he actually works for a local news station. So I picked up some things along the way from him. He showed me some ways to use Adobe Premiere Pro, and I started tinkering with it. And it was kind of a hobby, messing with it on the side and having something to share with friends and family. And then when I met Kate, I started getting a little bit more into it a little bit. And we started making a couple of more. We've actually, I guess, since Kate and I, we've made 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And we really want to do more, but we're not about trying to put out mass YouTube videos, because we want to put out a good quality video. And as we progress and get better, and I thank Tony, because I use him as a soundboard. It's like, dude, let me know what you think, thumbs up, down, what could I have done better? And it really helps having some of that feedback. So we enjoy putting the videos together, and Kate has actually gotten involved, and we'll actually edit them together. So we're sitting in here in the living room. We've got the TV, the computer plugged into the TV, and she can see what I'm doing with editing the footage and the videos and trying to overlay the sound and sound effects and stuff. So
it's a way for us to still get to be together, instead of him off in an office for 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 hours putting that stuff together.
It takes some time.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is to me, it takes time to do a quality video. And even after I release it, I'm all excited because I release it. And then when I release it, I watch it and I'm like,
and stresses himself out about it.
I could have done better. So I'm never happy with the final product. So I think that's one way we do it. Is we kind of started growing our YouTube channel a little bit, but we honestly don't have any intention of monetizing it. I don't really want to go down that road. I think we're just doing it for fun, because honestly, we don't have cable. We're very active people. We've got 2 kids and they're very active. So we watch YouTube some, we'll watch Hulu or whatever. But sometimes we'll just sit down and with a cup of coffee and watch our own videos, or we'll watch like Sean.
Watch you guys.
We missed it last week. We missed watching you guys with Sean, but we like watching and I have a lot of admiration for how he can fly a drone and off-road at the same time.
Yeah.
So we like watching those guys, and a lot of other people we like watching. So, and like I said, we go back and watch some of our own, but we would like to improve some of the quality. I've actually been spending some time without the tent trying to figure out ways to do various transitions and stuff. To me, all that stuff makes a difference, and the transitions. And I've got one video I did where that's all I really focused on, was not me talking and just nothing but footage and transitions and syncing the music to it. And it has very little, all that effort has very little views, but I am proud of it. I enjoyed it.
It was a good video.
So then we also, share most of the following that we have has been on Instagram, and we really appreciate everybody that does follow along. And we literally are just now really getting started and trying to see, where's this going to go? What are we going to do with it? We don't know. Just having fun.
Right on.
What would you say your biggest pet peeve is when you're out on the trails?
That'd be stage 5 clingers.
Stage 5 clingers. Okay.
So I picked that up from Tony. He had to explain it to me, so I'll
Yes.
explain it to
Yes,
what other people is.
We use that a lot.
It's basically somebody who just, if you set up camp, especially if you're in your group of friends, you've got, you invite people to go along with you. You've got your 3 or 4, people or rigs, and they're all grouped up, and you're having a good time. And all of a sudden, some guy comes in that you don't know and wants to set up camp right next to you. And they may or may not even talk to you. And they, all of a sudden, here comes the bush light and the loud, obnoxious music. And while we're sitting there just in the quiet, with nothing but a campfire, and all of a sudden they've got the Devos lights on, and
I never understood.
So
never understood that.
Trying to relax here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's, I guess, their way of relaxing. I don't get it, but
And go find other people who find that way relaxing too.
Yeah,
Leave
go
that
relax and
alone.
party somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Area. We're in quiet.
There was a comment.
Right.
Oh, thanks, Amy, for getting our patch. I appreciate that.
She did.
That was an idea that I had, and I had my daughter help me out with that. She loves drawing on iPad. I bought her an iPad just because she's got a lot of artistic talent.
She does.
And
oh my
so
gosh.
I kind of downloaded the pattern. I said, this is what I want, but I want it to look like this. And I want Sasquatch to look like he's, straining on pulling the gas gauge up. And so she did it, and we cranked it out. And I told her,
It's her design? That's cool.
I'll split the profits with you. So I owe her all of $2 now.
That's really cool though.
Nice.
You just got a new
I
phone.
appreciate that.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
Right on. That's awesome. So what would you tell other couples that are wanting to get into overlanding? What kind of advice would you give them if them and their family wanted to get into this?
I would say communication.
Yeah, good one.
Find out what the other person likes and doesn't like, and try to build on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense.
It seems so simple, but it's not always that easy.
Yeah.
Communication's the whole way in life, man. Ugh, for
Especially
sure.
when you're stuck out in the boonies, if she's afraid of bees, then don't go during that season. Be nice, or vice versa.
We're allergic to them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So when we camp together, bees and wasps, very allergic. Pin in my purse.
Happy pins in a
Good
purse.
to know.
Pin in the purse, in the front pocket.
Got it.
But
I got
Tony
in
has
trouble.
called first dibs on stabbing her with it, so
There's
Oh.
a list of people that want to stab me with the EpiPen. Okay, like get in line, people. You crazy.
That's
But when we
horrible.
had the ladies retreat, yes. When we had the ladies retreat last summer, we had Aaron from Switchback come and do a safety course with all the ladies. And he was talking about that sort of thing. And it came up that, I'm allergic to bees and wasps and really grass and hay and all these things. And anyway, he's like, everybody's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, where's your EpiPen? Who knows where her EpiPen is? And nobody knew.
Yeah, that's important.
Misty knew I was allergic, so she knew I had a pen, but she didn't know where it was. So he kind of gave me a hard time about, like, when you're out camping, you need to make sure that the people that are camping with you know if you have some sort of anything, not just me, just anybody that has any kind of medical condition, that you know where those things are. Yes, Tony's been waiting for 30 years. Really 31 and a half if you want to get real technical about it. But yeah, he's been waiting a long time. And I hope really it's a long time.
yeah.
It's scary. But anyway, you're supposed to let the people that you're, around know that sort of thing. But I'm just so used to carrying that it didn't really ever, I never thought about it. So I got a dad lecture.
Oh, no.
I know. Speaking of safety, our very own Kate is going to be at More Expo with us in the Ladies Lounge, the Lady Overlander Ladies Lounge that Chris Holloway has so graciously gave us permission to do. And she's going to be teaching some gun safety.
Yeah.
I love it.
You want to hit on that just a tiny?
Yeah. So not only am I law enforcement, I've been doing that since 1995. Now I've actually upgraded. I'm a training coordinator now for our police department. Plus, I am also a Boy Scout leader. I am also Northwest Arkansas shooting sports merit badge counselor, and an NRA shotgun instructor. So
and Wonder Woman.
Badass.
And a badass
Woman.
unicorn. Oh.
And
She's
a
a
badass unicorn. So I don't want to give too much away, but I got in contact with the NRA, and I got in contact with Wilson Combat and Glock and a couple other gun manufacturers and holster and concealed carry manufacturers.
Nice.
And they're going to send various door prizes, tote bags, T-shirts, buttons, pins.
Yeah, one bag may be missing a Wilson Combat shirt.
Hey.
Obviously, I have no idea how many people are going to get there. So we're just going to wrap them all up. We're going to give them away like door prizes as we go through the day. But since it's not a range, I can't do actual gun safety. I can't bring out, here's this is how you hold it.
That could be a day's worth of the class.
Right. Yeah, really. Especially with that many people, because I usually like to keep it to like 4 people. That way you get hands-on. But with this big, I'm going to have PowerPoints, and the NRA gave me a whole bunch of really good ones to go through. There's also a company called the Well-Armed Woman that's got some really great ones to go through. So I'm going to try and rig up whatever I can. I think I get like an hour each day is what we're shooting for.
I think you have an hour and a half on Saturday. I have to look at the schedule again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
But it's going to be amazing.
It'll be good, and it's based mostly on so the first little bit is obviously gun safety, because I don't think everyone there is going to necessarily be a concealed carry kind of person. They may be fresh off the bat and their husband's like, you need to go take this class, so we're going to start from square one and just go over some basics, and then we're going to get into camping specific. So
it's a good reminder anyway, even for people that are seasoned,
absolutely
with that. So,
and I still, I love getting to teach the kids at Boy Scouts because I get to go over those basics.
Mm-hmm.
And even I need those basics. Even SWAT team needs those basics, because you get lax, you get too comfortable, and when you slack, that's when accidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a reminder.
10 and 2, Tony.
Situational awareness. Amen.
10 and 2.
Yeah.
And an occasional 6.
Yep.
An occasional 6.
Make sure somebody has your 6.
For real. Well, it's self-promo time, so the floor is yours to tell us how do we find y'all?
That's one thing I have tried very, very hard to be consistent, is using the name Experiencing Arkansas. It's just something I come up with a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And so we try to use that same name for both Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I've actually personally tried to find myself using a Google search and can't. So if you actually, our Linktree, we finally broke down and created a Linktree account, and we just started to say, okay, well, what is Linktree? What is that going to give us? But it actually has a way where we have everything in one spot, and you can get to our Linktree account through Instagram, which takes you to any of our digital media, the YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And it'll also take you to links that we have where we have been affiliated with companies that will get you either discount codes or referral programs.
Nice.
We are trying to not necessarily push that too much, but when you don't have any media to create because you're waiting on a tent and haven't been camping in 4 months, and you're going stir crazy, gotta keep it out there somehow. So we're not trying to sell Amway products, but we are trying to say, hey,
Amway products.
If you're interested in a flashlight, here's some.
Hey, and they're really good. Those are really good.
I had already had Phoenix lights for several years. So the fact that I got accepted with Phoenix, I was very excited, because Olight let me down too many times, and I switched brands to strictly Phoenix. And then Go Treads, we've got some products from Go Treads that we're trying to use. Again, haven't been able to get out there. There was snow like a month ago, I guess, last snow we had. And I'm like, I've got to make a video. I've got to get myself stuck on purpose just so I can get the Go Treads out of the back of the Jeep and get myself out.
But you know what? Those things are good enough. He's got like 2 sets, and then he gave me his old set for my truck. And, it's nice to know that My son can get out if he gets stuck. 'Cause he's a new driver.
I got my small set that I got at Rendezvous in the Ozarks 2 years ago, and I gave them to her to keep in her truck. And I literally down the street from where we live, I got stuck in the snow last year, and those things got me out. And it was extremely embarrassing, and I knew I'd never live it down if I called any of my buddies.
So let's put it on the radio.
But it was the guy it's a very narrow road between two pastures, so it's a very narrow field road. And the guy that was driving down the road was basically in the middle of the road. So I went to the side a little bit, and when I did, the snow pushed me off into the ditch. So I drove down the ditch for 100 yards, and I could not get out. Locked front and rear axles, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing.
Oh my!
There's nothing down that road to winch out.
Yeah, you can't winch to a T-post. So I was like, I'm gonna have to call somebody, and I was like, oh, I do have my Go Treads. Try that. Yeah. It came out like it was on dry pavement. I was like, at that point forward, I am convinced these things.
I love ours. We love ours.
Awesome. Yes.
So I have been trying to use them more than just tent levelers. There you go.
You gotta get your Go Treads. Oh, God, what is happening?
Come on. Okay, so we did an ad for Go Treads.
You feel attacked, Orla.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the original question. Yes, our Linktree account has stuff.
If y'all want to get any shirts or patches or anything, they have their apparel with Shop Overland Apparel, as do many of us in this community. So I'm sure they have a link on their page to take you right there as well. Correct?
Yep. We do have we partnered up with Jarrett to see if anybody would be interested in teaching. Honestly, I wanted my own patch, and I just, I was like, well, if I got to buy some, I got to buy them in bulk. So I wanted to get some patches made, and that's why we actually have another shirt idea that we wanted to do, where it's the joke about mall crawlers and Karen. So we have the Jeep where it's kind of off camber and the axles are all flexed out. This isn't your mall, Karen. And so we've got a shirt idea that we were going to do, but I thought I was planning on getting it done in time for more. So I might need to do that. But
better get on the stick.
Yeah. We got to get on the stick before we publish this everywhere.
Again, we're not.
You got 24 hours, bro.
You better call Jared.
We're not. I mean, that's one thing most people don't know. When you get stickers and patches and shirts and all that stuff, it's an investment. You're forking out some change to get that going. Yeah. So the fact that I have sold all of 2 or 3 patches, I'm proud of. I've probably given 10 or 15 away.
That you have to do that. You really do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But honestly, and that's fine. I knew that going into it. I wanted my friends to have some if they wanted them, and give some to someone who'd appreciate it and would want to. So I don't mind this. That's just part of it. That's
great. Well, we had a blast tonight. We appreciate y'all taking the time to be on the show this evening, and we're so happy that we were your first podcast ever.
We're thrilled to have been invited.
And we can't wait to hit the trail with you and see y'all at more.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And have French toast.
And have French toast.
Oh, yeah. I think that maybe we should have some French toast.
Yep.
More.
Yeah. Yes. We may have to bring extra.
Yes.
Taking orders. I'm taking orders so I can buy supplies.
Sounds awesome.
Breakfast burritos too.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we will see you the week after next. We will not be on next Wednesday.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.